Welcome back, everybody.
Hey guys, I think we've lost Rishabh for a bit, but yes, quickly to summarize what happened in the first innings where India were put to bat first, and they scored 132 for the loss of 5 wickets. And the Sri Lankan bowlers have done a pretty good job, especially in the start where you saw the captain shuffling a lot of bowlers in the initial bit, where I thought that Akila Dhananjaya was given the ball and he went out for around 13 runs. So then, all right, here we've got Rishabh again.
Sorry, Salil. I think the my Wi-Fi provider is also not happy with the way Indian batsmen performed today. Maybe, but yeah, I was coming to you on what do you make of this Indian innings?
Well, I think the effort was good. They would be 15, 20 runs short. And I slightly disappointed with the way Shikhar Dhawan played. 42 balls for 40 runs, eating up too many balls. And you cannot expect a better run rate for your bowlers to defend. So for me, that was definitely a no-no. I think he should have really accelerated towards the end. Um, no point in staying there. I mean, not that we were losing any wickets at that point. We just lost the opener. But I think fair enough. The effort was good. Second last over of Hasaranga gave us a few runs, which I think the Indian bowlers would want to back because they realize that it's not an easy pitch to bat on. I think Padikkal on his debut got a lot of spinners. The spinners' woes that he had really he was not able to take off. I could see his off stump while he got beaten a couple of times. So clearly something that he needs to work on with his footwork. But overall, I think the effort of the Indian batsmen, what we thought, the top three scored a total of 90 runs amongst the 132 runs that we had. And I think fair enough. It's given a decent boost for the bowlers, knowing that the pitch is spinning really brilliantly. It's spinner's paradise. And with the three spinners that India have got, India are really in for a chance if they're able to take those early wickets. It all depends on the pacers. Bhuvaneshwar and Navdeep Saini, who we know is known to spray a few bad balls, but I hope he shouldn't do that now. If they get the grip on on the batting in the first 6 overs, where during the power play, I think the Sri Lankan batsmen are going to find it difficult to rotate the strike, and this could really go down to the wire. I'm still in a 50-50 mode, but I could give Sri Lanka a little bit of an edge because the score is almost run for one.
Salil, in the last statement you mentioned you can give Sri Lanka a little bit of edge, but you had quite a positive outlook towards the score, which wasn't looking that convincing. Also, talking about that, we have the scorecard here. Salil, I want to ask you the way the Sri Lankan bowler started, especially somebody like a Dushmanta Chamira and Akila Dhananjaya going for more than 10 plus runs in their first overs. Where they finished in the end, do you think a convincing death bowling performance by the Sri Lankan bowlers? They pulled it back really well.
I think the pitch is good enough to be a low scoring one. Not that the Sri Lankan bowlers pulled it back. Obviously, they have pulled it back, but the shuffling of the bowlers initially did not make me quite happy about this. Especially when you've got two fast bowlers bowling their first 2 overs, you immediately bring a spinner on who goes for 13 runs in his first over, and he's not had a previous good match also, so not working on the confidence as well. So somewhere I think the Sri Lankan captain Shanaka needs to really think about those strategies. I think those initial runs that were leaked out were the ones that make a difference. We were around India was around 49 runs when they lost their first wicket at the end of the seventh over. So they had done their bit because of them not worrying about the changes in the bowling. So yes, Sri Lankan bowlers have really pulled it back, especially Kila Dhananjaya towards the end, finishing with 2 wickets, along with Harsaranga, who was quite economical in his first 3 overs, but then the last few overs giving away those extras and 5 runs would have impacted the scorecard a little bit. But all in all, a good performance by the Sri Lankan bowlers, especially after the first wicket had fallen.
Yes, I think absolutely a very good performance, something which the Sri Lankan fans would have wanted to. Salil, you spoke about how the bowlers were changed frequently. So there's just a fact which I would like to know your views on that in the first 9 overs, Sri Lanka used eight different bowlers. So in the first 9 overs, it was only one. I think it was Dushmanta
Yeah.
Chamira who bowled 2 overs. Rest all were bowled by different bowlers. Do you think it was a specific plan, or it was just because the Sri Lankans wanted to rotate and they were looking for wickets or out of desperation? What do you think about that?
Maybe on a pitch that is not easier to bat on. If you play the same bowler, in back-to-back overs, it's more easier for a batsman to maneuver the ball and score. Maybe if not those boundaries, but at least those keep the scoreboard ticking. So maybe that would be the idea, but that doesn't really work every time. I don't know if it has really worked. If it's really worked, I mean, they should be able to change this total. But yeah, a few changes are definitely required. But eight overs and eight bowlers, it just looks like a stunt.
Uh, okay, I mean, maybe something for the Sri Lankan fans won't be really happy to listen to. But we spoke highly about the debutants. We spoke about Patikal. We spoke about Ruturaj Gaikwad. And you mentioned the fact that you want Ruturaj Gaikwad to open because he's a slow starter. Do you feel he was a bit tentative because there were some half shots played? He was not getting to the pitch of the ball while playing the shots. Do you feel he was not in his element completely? What do you make of his batting
Well,
performance?
too early to say that because I'm seeing him after nearly 4 months. So to be tentative in your first match, in your first 4-5 overs, is absolutely possible. He's played with Shikhar Dhawan for a partnership of 49. Initially, with all the bowlers being changed, obviously you will look a little tentative, but nothing short of talent. Ruturaj Gaikwad, he saw some beautiful boundaries, picking them against the spin, just like Surya Kumar Yadav did in this tour. So a lot of positives for the guy. Sadly, he went out to the ball locked high in the air, but a good start for India. I think from an opener perspective and what the roles and responsibilities for this particular match, if we were to say, I think he's done his job by giving India the start. So nothing to take away from him. Padikal, yes, struggling slightly, was not able to side the ball, was not able to understand spin on a few occasions. He got a start, hit a couple of boundaries, but was not really able to capitalize. Same goes for Sanju Samson and Nitesh Rana. They were really not themselves. Luckily, we got a few extras in the end, so the scoreboard's gone slightly above the six mark, but the strike rate for six mark, but nothing too great apart from that. I think if Shikhar Dhawan would have accelerated, it would have given Sanju Samson and the other guys a little confidence for to go after the ball and make it little difficult for the Sri Lankan bowlers. They look pretty settled in the last 7-8 overs.
I think it's been a similar sort of story for all the Indian batsmen now. But when I look at the other side, somebody like Minod Bhanuka, Avishka Fernando, who have been in form, you also spoke about in the pre-show that how they have contributed their bit for the Sri Lankan side. Now, if I have to speak about them, and when they look ahead in front of us, they are facing three top-class spinners, if I can say so. Kuldeep Yadav, they have Varun Chakravarti, and they have Rahul Chair. Three bowlers, three different type of bowlers. Pressure on them?
Oh, absolutely. They've not seen all these bowlers, and the Indian bowlers have a lot in their armor as well. It's not just the spinners; it's also the pacers that bring a lot of difference. Bhuvaneshwar, with all the experience that he's got, Chetan Sakaria, we know what he can do in the IPL. The pocket-sized dynamite has got a great change of pace, and Navdeep Saini, the guy who bowls 145 clicks. So, I think from a bowling perspective now India are playing for their strengths and they should be able to defend this if they hold their line and bowl as per the plan. So this is something that we'd really want. We'd like to see the Indian bowlers do this time.
Clearly, I think you mentioned we would like to see the Indian bowlers perform well. 4 wickets in the last game. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar will again be leading the attack, and this time actually leading the attack since he's the only experienced bowler in the side. What will be your cues to the Indian bowlers? Firstly, to the pace duo of Saini and Kumar, and then to the three specialist spinners which we have.
I think the spinners, it's pretty simple. They've already seen what has happened, so they just need to mix it up and stick to their line. If they're bowling such bad lines and giving out boundaries, then it's going to be then it's just downward from there. But quite honestly, I think if you drain out the boundaries for Sri Lanka, even the singles will not be easy to come by. So you're expecting 3 or 4 runs an over if there are no boundaries and if they are not, in a position to throw their wickets or not throwing their wickets. So from a bowling perspective, I think sticking to your plan and ensuring that we don't leak enough runs in the first 6 overs is one of the main things that the Indian bowlers need.
Uh, I think that's really good. You spoke about another one bowler which we missed out is Chetan Sakaria, the pocket-sized dynamo. He bowled really well. He bowled his heart out in the first T20. He got those 2 wickets. Now he has a good cushion of an experienced bowler in terms of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and somebody who bowls express pace. He's somewhere in the middle. Do you think he will be much more effective today, considering the wicket is also slow and it's gripping a bit?
See, I think the three fast bowlers will be sharing 8 overs between themselves, and I'm assuming Bhuvaneshwar Kumar will bowl his quota of four. So Chetan Sakaria or maybe an Navdeep Saini might have just 2 overs apiece to prove whatever they can. And I don't think Chetan Sakaria should try anything special, but just to rotate, make sure that the batsmen are not given easy runs and complement the other fast bowlers. Nothing special to try, just sticking to the plan. And having said that, I think the batsmen are on the field and they're about to bowl the first ball. So
Yeah. So I think that
we'll
was a
be able to.
clear plan from you at the end that keep it simple. Don't try anything different. With that, guys, you will take your leave. Salil at the end, still going with India or maybe giving it to Sri Lanka this time?
It's Sri Lanka's really got the edge now. I hope it's their match to lose. I mean, 130 is an easy score to chase. It's their
So
match to lose. Really. It's the
with that,
batsmen.
our expert has changed his view. Let's see what happens in the second innings. We'll be back with the post match. So thank you.
Thanks.